Welcome to Marik's Nostalgic Reviews! This time we will take a look at an old but soon to be revived game franchise, Carmageddon! Carmageddon, who didn't play this in secret when they were kids? Who didn't think their parents' outrage was over the top when they saw you painting the pavement red with pixelated cows and pedestrians? Carmageddon is developed by Stainless Games and is published by SCI and Interplay. It came out for DOS, Windows 95, Macintosh in 1997, which makes this game 14 years old now. It began as a Destruction Derby-esque game. This was dropped when the game got hold of the Mad Max license, which sadly didn't go anywhere. After that, Stainless got hold of the Death Race 2000 license, which introduced the running over pedestrians part of the games. This license also fell through, and by this point Stainless decided to make their own IP. Carmageddon, though controversial, did pave the way for games like Grand Theft Auto and Driver series. It was one of the first, if not the first game to introduce a 3D sandbox in which the player could roam as long as he or she had enough time left to do so. The checkpoints to follow were but a small piece of the entire map, and there was no real need to follow them at all. To this day, the game is riddled with controversy. As mentioned before, you're able to run over pedestrians and you get a credit and time bonus for doing so. Some countries even banned the game for it, only to have censored versions later released that year. The censoring replaced the pedestrians with zombies or with robots. It didn't take long, however, for the blood patches to come out. These patches replaced the zombies with regular pedestrians. Carmageddon has little to no narrative. You're rank 99 in the ladder and you have to rank upwards all the way to number 1 to win the game. This is done by completing races in various ways. To complete a race, a player has to do one of three things. 1. Race through all the checkpoints in order regardless of what place he is in. 2. Kill all his opponents by ramming them repeatedly until they are wasted. Or 3. Killing all pedestrians in the level. Wasting cars is the way of unlocking new cars. In the first game and its expansion Splat Pack, you can only unlock certain cars out of the 40 that are in the game. These unlocked cars are deemed stealable, which seems to be a random occurrence during a race. You could have wasted the same car in 5 races before, but now it's in your garage. It seems to be completely random. There is, however, a cheat that lets you drive all other cars. As of Carmageddon 2, Carpocalypse Now, you're able to purchase every car that you wasted during a race once the race is finished, which was a much needed change. The graphics for its time were impressive. Never before did you have such an open world to roam in. As in many of other games of its time, most of the objects in the worlds are sprites, which allowed for many pedestrians on the map, without taxing PCs of that day and age too much. For games of today though, well, take a look. It's shit. The sound design of the game was rather unique. Never before did you hear the crashing of metal in such clarity as this game. The repair sound is so iconic that many people still remember it to this day and can pinpoint exactly what game it's from. As far as engine sounds go, they all sound the same. The screams of the soon-to-be dying are rather fun to listen to, and there is some spoken dialogue from the pedestrians, although they usually don't live long enough to finish their sentences. As you can see in the top left of the screen, there's also a camera of the character you've chosen. There is Max Damage and Diana. These are the two drivers you can select from and give your own name to. These drivers also come with their own cars. Max drives the Eagle and Anna drives the Hawk. Here's a fun little fact for you. The car that Max drives in the Splat Pack expansion pack is based around the Batmobile from the first 2 Batman movies. With that little nugget of information, I shall say goodbye. As for a rating, well, it's an old game and it clearly shows it. The gameplay, the most important aspect of any game, is still solid and has been solid throughout the series, though I personally do not like Carmageddon 3 Death Race 2000. All in all, I'll be playing this game a bit more to fill my thirst for nostalgia. Join me again next time where I review another old game. In the meantime, why don't you tell us how your parents reacted when they saw you playing this game? Leave comments below.